Hello everybody, it's Amy from Winterwood Studio, and today we have the world's tiniest watercolor supplies that we are going to be testing and painting with today. We will do the unboxing and set up the little palette, and then I will do two little tiny watercolor paintings with the supplies. And I actually like the second painting so much that I decided to do a little oil paint study from the second watercolor painting. So we'll pop that footage into and we will talk about how I did that. So grab yourself something cozy to drink, come on in, and we will do some painting. Okay, so I have the unboxing of the tiny watercolor supplies. I'm not sponsored by them. They didn't even know I was doing a video with them when I bought them. I did order them right before I fell down the stairs back last fall, and so the unboxing, I have my crutches and I'm in a little bit of rough shape. So excuse that, but I just wanted to explain what was happening, and now I will pop you on over to the unboxing footage. Okay, so very tiny supplies. Not sure if they're the world's tiniest, but for sure they'll be the tiniest that I've ever used. We'll see how this goes. I'm not entirely sure how it's gonna go. I'm not super great at working really tiny, but I thought it would be a fun project that we could try. Well, for me, I can't work at my easel or anything, so this little desk is pretty much it for me. Oh, look at how cute it is in there. Look at, there's a little thing of washi tape and a little tiny clip. And we will open this up and see what's in here. Got ink on my finger already. All right. And that stuck to me. Okay, I see a little draw bag. There's two things in here. So this is the first thing. This is the brand Natsume. And it's a really nice soft velvety bag, corduroy. And this is the little tiny watercolor palette I ordered. I've seen other people use these. I think it goes this way. That magnet is super strong. Look at you guys, it's so cute. There's the little tiny palette and the little tiny mixing well. I've seen other people use these, and I really wanted to try. And, ooh, here's my little tiny sketchbook. So pretty. So pretty. And it is a Vincent van Gogh theme, which is awesome because I love Vincent van Gogh. Look at the little tiny sketchbook. Oh, look at the little tiny sketchbook. It's got little watercolor paper. It looks like it's going to fly. This is really beautifully done. It's got like the binding tape and everything. Hand sewn watercolor paper. And so I think, I'm not sure how do these work exactly. I know you're supposed to be able to clip this to this, I think, but I don't know how to do it. I'll have to figure it out because I'm not sure. But that's obviously what the clip is for. So I'll get somebody to help me clean up here, and I'll move you from here to here, and we will take a closer look at all these, and we'll fill up my little tiny paint palette, and we will do some painting and see how it turns out. Okay, so here we are over at my desk, and we'll just take everything out. I want to pick the colors that I want to put in here. So this is my Daniel Smith transparent palette. And let's see, we have 8 wells. I'm just looking at colors. I also have my non-transparent palette. I'm going to go for, let's see, we have 8 colors, so 2 reds. So we are going to start with the 2 non-transparent colors I'm using are Burnt Sienna and Raw Umber, because I always like Burnt Sienna and Raw Umber. So let's find those. Okay, so like I said, this palette is all Daniel Smith, and the colors I decided to use are Quinacridone Magenta, Lemon Yellow, New Gamboge, Phthalo Green Blue Shade, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Indothrone Blue, Burnt Sienna, and Raw Umber. And at first I thought these are really small little wells, and I didn't think it would be enough, but I did 2 sketches in the little sketchbook already, and they're only about half gone, so actually, I think, you know, top it off when you get empty, but this would be good for a couple trips. Okay, now we're going to make the littlest of tiniest little swatch cards. So I like to have a little swatch card to take with me just so I know what I have in my palette. And I made this itty bitty swatch card so that I could see what colors I had. I didn't try to do like a wash or anything like that on the card like I normally would because they're so small. So there is our little tiny swatch card set. So now we're going to move on to the paintings. I'm going to do 2 small watercolor sketches with this in the sketchbook, and then I'm going to do an oil painting study from the second watercolor sketch. Okay, so before we pop over to the painting section of this video, I did just want to say that I've had a lot of questions lately from people asking how I make a full-time living as an artist. For those of you who don't know, I am a full-time artist. I do make my full income from my art and my art business. I have a video up already. It's called 15 Ways to Make Money with Your Art. I'll link it down below in case you're interested. But if you're looking for a more in-depth way to learn about the whole business side of making an income with your art, then I'm going to suggest Skillshare, which is perfect for today because they just happen to be the sponsor for today's video. In case you didn't know, Skillshare is the largest online learning platform in the world. They have really helped me take my art career to the next level, but they have other classes too. They have like crocheting and cooking and baking and knitting and Photoshop and Procreate and Adobe Illustrator and tons of other non-art related stuff as well. They have a really good hand sewing class with Bernadette Banner that I really want to take, but that's not here or there. But anyway, when I was starting out with my art, I took a bunch of classes on there about how to earn an income as an artist. And one of the best ones that I found was Making a Living as an Artist, Strategies for Crafting Your Creative Business with Brooke Glazier. It's had over 34,000 people take that class, and it is definitely worth your bang for your buck. It teaches you just about everything you need to know and very quickly about how to make an income as an artist. And if you guys want to take a class with Skillshare, Skillshare has been super, super nice, and they have given us a very special link. The first 500 people to click the link in my description box down below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So get started today, and I hope you learn as much as I have and like it as much as I do. Okay, now we're gonna go on to the painting part of the video. So I did this little sketch last night on this piece of arches just to see if I could paint small-ish. I'm not sure what paper is in this. I know it's cold press. Let's just do a little doodle on this front page to make it so that I'm not worried so much about it. Let's do... Okay, so sorry if that seemed like it cut off there. It actually didn't. I just stopped talking for no reason whatsoever. But here I am I didn't do a pencil sketch first or anything like that. I just went right in with the Sakura Pigma Micron. This is their brown or sepia. I forget if they call it sepia or if it's just brown, but it's that color. I'll link all the supplies I use down below in case you want to get your own and try this out. This is just a Meeden water brush that I actually really like, a fine point one. I'm not sure if you can get this one yet. It's actually coming up in another video, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, I didn't give the Pigma Micron any time to dry either. I just went right in with the watercolors, and it bled a little, but not too bad. I mostly was just wanting to get something down on this first page because I've been known to be afraid of blank sketchbooks, so I like to get something on that first page as soon as possible so I feel like it's already being used so I don't get weird about it. So I just drew the electric candle that is in my front window for Christmas, and I keep them up through January because it's a nice white light. And then the Schefflera plant next to it, and I actually
really enjoyed it. I was super worried about working this tiny, and I thought I would not be able to do it, but I actually really, really, really enjoyed it, so much so that I will immediately go into making a second sketch here in just a minute because I liked it so much. So after that dried, I flipped the page and I had a little, I had taken a photo last summer of a fawn asleep in the grass, and this time I did go in with a pencil sketch first because I wanted to make sure I got the fawn somewhat anatomically correct. I probably didn't need to do it because, as you saw there, I didn't really have to erase anything. Maybe I had to erase. No, I don't think I did. And I, again, really enjoyed this. I didn't wait for the Pigma Micron to dry or anything like that. I just went right into the painting. It was all wet into wet, one layer all at once. I didn't even let it dry around the deer before I came in with the grass, and it was fine. It bled a little bit, but not too bad. I don't actually know what kind of paper this is in the sketchbook. I went back and looked to try to figure it out, but I didn't see it anywhere on the description. But anyway, I had a ton of fun doing this, and I liked this one so much that I decided to do an oil paint study with it when I was done. So now we're going to move into the oil paint study. I did not do an underpainting for this, which is very, very rare for me. I almost always do an underpainting. However, I didn't this time because I had exactly 45 minutes to paint. And A, it cut out a little time, and B, I didn't have to deal with having a slightly wet underlayer of paint. So this is, I think it's a Centurion canvas panel, and I don't remember which oil paints I'm using here. I generally use either Michael Harding, Gamblin, or I have some water mixable oils that I use. I have totally figured out how to paint non-toxically with oil paints, and it has made me super, super happy. And I'm getting back into oil paint quite a bit. For those of you who don't know, 20 some odd years ago, a long time ago, I was in art school and I was going for studio art, and my emphasis was primarily oils. Mostly landscapes, but also sometimes other things like still lifes and animals. I don't do a lot of portrait work, or at least I hadn't at that point. And then I had to leave. I had 3.5 years done, and I had to leave because I got really, really sick with my autoimmune disease, which turned out to be Crohn's disease, and it took a very long time to get into remission. And by the time we did get it into remission, I had moved to the backwater middle of nowhere, where there are no colleges or universities, so I cannot finish my degree. So yeah, I did 3.5 years, no degree, and it was in oil paints. And after that, I did not touch oil paints for 20 some years. I think I briefly went through a spat of painting again, maybe 14 years ago. And I painted a couple paintings and then put them away and had kids and got busy. And I was doing my, I'm also classically trained as a jeweler, and I worked as a jeweler up until 2022 is what I was doing for my job. So still creative, still working with bright colored jewels and fun and whatnot, but not painting or drawing. And then for some reason after that, even though I started doing art again, back in 2019, for some reason, I've done a few oils here and there, but not a ton. And I think it had something to do with, I don't know, some unresolved bad feelings from that time. But I finally, and also because I was worried about painting non-toxic, I have an allergy to mineral spirits, odorless mineral spirits. I get... my doctor said it was, he called it an id reaction. I have no idea what it is, but I get little tiny blisters all over my fingers. I don't even have to touch it. I just have to like unscrew the lid of the jar and I get it on my fingers. And it's funny because back in the day, I used turpentine. Like, I don't think there was no odorless mineral spirits as far as I know back in the day. Everybody in the art studio space at the university that I was going to was using turpentine. Like, I remember walking in there and smelling turpentine every day and liking the smell of it. So maybe it was all that exposure that caused it. I don't know. But now that I have really truly figured out how to paint non-toxic, which was like, I finally figured it out and got super comfortable with it like the last year or so. I am now really happy to have my oils out, and in fact, if you guys would like to see more oil painting type stuff here on my channel, would you let me know in the comments? I know I've primarily mostly shown watercolor and like watercolor and pen and ink and mixed media. I don't even know. I feel like there might be less of a audience for oil paints, so let me know if you're interested in oil paints or anything like that down below. Here I'm using a shaper tool to remove some of the paint and sort of like scratch the grass into the wet paint, and then I'll come back in and soften it up in a minute. That's what I'm doing right there, softening it up with a soft brush right there. And I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I really enjoyed doing this little study. I think, like I said, it took me 45 minutes. And I had a lot of fun, and I immediately went into painting a still life, which you may see on the channel, maybe not next week, maybe the week after, with my old oil paints as part of like a mishmash video. I think it might be the week after that even. I don't know. I have some videos pre-filmed for some companies coming up, so I don't remember. It's January. Like I said, I feel like we should just hibernate for January because who knows what's going on. Not me.
Okay, so I hope you liked that video today and found it helpful or fun or entertaining. And if you did, I would love it if you would click the like button or the subscribe button or leave a comment down below. They are all free, no-cost ways for you to help support my channel, and it helps YouTube know that my channel is putting out good content that people like to watch, and that helps me a little bit in the algorithm. And you are also welcome to check out my Patreon if you would like. I have a lot of exclusive tutorials over there and smaller videos that teach you like the businessy side of being an artist and all sorts of things. That will be linked down below as well. There's only one tier. It's only $5 a month. I think it's pretty affordable. So if you want to check that out, that will be down below. And until next time, happy creating!